Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bean, and today we are going to be talking about my unpopular K-pop opinions. Because while some of them might not always be unpopular, I do have a lot of opinions, so let's get right into it. I will say before we start, these are all just my opinions, and that if you do not agree with them, I don't care. They're my opinions. I'm not saying they are fact. I'm not saying that you should agree with them. But if you come for me in the comments, then you don't understand the point of an opinion and you're just getting butthurt over something that doesn't affect your everyday life. So that's your own goddamn problem. Anyways, moving on. So, my first unpopular K-pop opinion is that Dalla Dalla from ITZY was actually a really good song. I know a lot of people really didn't like it because it was, in their opinions, it was weird, it was thrown together, the dance was awkward, and that it didn't have like a good beat behind it, and I disagree with all of that because I think that it had a very unique sound that you don't hear very often, and I think that the girls pulled it off very well, and I think they are going to do great. Hopefully I will have heard their comeback from Monday by now. I don't know. I'm currently at summer camp. Not right now, but when you're watching this, I'll be at summer camp. So, I don't know. Hopefully, I think their comeback's going to be really good. But I thought Dalla Dalla was a great song. I did not know ITZY was going to be debuting anything like that. And I was just listening to Pandora. The lighting just changed, didn't it? I was listening to my Pandora, and Dalla Dalla came on, and I was like, dude, this is a fucking bop, and I loved it immediately. So I didn't understand why people were hating on ITZY for their song, when even if you didn't like the song, it's not the girls' fault. I think that if they didn't like the song, they pulled it off very well, but there was no reason to completely hate on the girls if you didn't like their song, because it was a debut, and it was of a big three group, and it was going to be hyped up, and if you didn't like the way it was hyped up, then you shouldn't immediately dislike the group, and that was just my thing. But I really like the song Dalla Dalla, and I think It's Icy is going to be a very good comeback because I think the girls can pull off just about anything that JYP throws at them. So, along with that, on to my second K-pop opinion. I think that JYP has some of the most talented artists. I know a lot of people will disagree with me and say that SM has the most talented artists, and while I think that SM has some very good people under their label, like NCT, Red Velvet, they're all really great, and I stan both of those groups, but I personally like more rap-centered groups, and I'm more of a boy group stan. So with JYP, with Stray Kids, and GOT7, their older music was more rap-focused. I really like them, as opposed to some of NCT's music. Specifically, I like NCT 127 the most, just because they go for the darker concepts, and I really like the rappers' voices. But old NCT Dream, just old NCT music, I can't really listen to because it's more happy and bright. And I know that I said I stand Red Velvet, but I like their red themed concepts and all this other stuff, but I really like rap-centered groups, and I think that JYP has some really good rappers, and I also think that their dancing style is very unique, and that all their artists are able to pull it off very well. And I think that out of the big three companies, I enjoy JYP's shows the most, and I think all their idols have really good stage presence. But I will admit that I like SM artists the next best, and I don't really listen to anybody from YG except for iKON. So I can't really say much about YG artists because I don't listen to them, because I don't actually know. I like iKON, but I think JYP has the best, most talented artists out of the big three groups. Unpopular opinion number 3 is that I don't think BTS is an accurate representation of K-pop and the industry that it's in. I will admit that they have good vocalists and good rappers, but I don't think that they, together as a group, really show what K-pop is. I think that they have somebody who's strong in everything, but I think together as a group they are not strong in everything they need to be strong in. In my opinion, Jungkook is the only stable vocalist, and this just comes from me. I'm trained in choir. I'm going to Europe next year for a national choir trip. Um, but I think Jungkook, and maybe it's because he had more of a privilege as the maknae that Big Hit wanted him to be more prepared, but I think he has the best vocals. He's also has a really good rap voice, but I think Jimin, and Tae are always forced to sing really out of their range and out of their vocal styles, and I think that they needed to have some more training before they went in, especially Jin and Jimin. And this has been something that's been talked about quite a lot recently, is the fact that Jimin's straining his voice and it's not going to stay nice and pretty for very long if he doesn't get actual vocal training, and if he starts singing lower into his more tressed voice as opposed to his falsetto, which all the boys have lovely falsettos, but they need to be trained properly on how to use them before their voices blow out. And I think that Tae has a lovely deep voice, but it's not being used to its full potential because all of BTS's songs are very high-pitched and they need to not be high-pitched. And I think that Tae's style is not one that BTS goes with very often, because BTS either goes with songs that force him to sing out of his range or ones where he is literally growling at you, neither of which seem like things he wants to do, but he does it for the good of his group. And with rappers, I think they have a very strong rap line, and I am very critical of rap lines, and I hate it when when a rapper is not like a good one. My favorite rapper out of BTS is Suga. I think he has a very deep voice. I think he has a very deep voice, and I think it suits his rap style very well. But I feel like they all have a very particular rap style that doesn't always fit the concept they are going for. And I think a very good example of this is Converse High. It's a very good song. It's light, it's happy, but specifically Suga's rap part in it, because his rap style is not, happy, light, gumdrop fairies or whatever that song. It stuck out in a way that was very unattractive in the song, and I think that there are other songs that BTS has produced that the rap line has stuck out in a way that is not good and should have just been like a vocal song. And I think that that's something that turned me off from the group after a while, is that they sometimes have really lovely things, they just don't match together. But I do think that BTS has a very strong rap line, and then it gets to dancing. I think that their dance line is really good. I personally don't like Jimin's style of dancing. It's very flowy and loose, and I don't like that. I like Hoseok's and I like J-Hope's and Jungkook's style much more, and I think that Namjoon and Jin are not accurate representations of non-dance line members, because they stick out a lot, and you'll notice this a lot in other K-pop groups where the weaker dancers still blend in, and they don't do that, and that's something that really bothers me, and that's part of the reason why I think that they're not a good representation of K-pop as a whole. That was a very long opinion. Let's move on to another BTS themed opinion, which is that they need to change their concept. I am normally not a person who thinks that you have to have a different concept for every time. I mentioned groups I stand earlier, and they all have a set concept. Stray Kids has a set concept, but it works. It works for them. Twice has a concept that works, that's cute, and they've done it for years, and it's nice and it's lovely. But I've noticed that a lot of ARMY have said that they prefer BTS's darker stuff as opposed to their newer stuff. I really loved the Love Yourself series. I thought it was a great message, and I thought that it inspired so many people and turned so many people onto K-pop, and I think that that was really great, and it got K-pop on the map. But I think we, as not even just ARMYs, but as a K-pop community, can almost unanimously agree that Love Yourself Answer was such a disappointing comeback, and that it was not what we wanted. And I think a lot of people were more focused on the number of views as opposed to the actual song. So the song got really popular, even though most of us don't like it. I think the only thing that saved that album was Nicki Minaj on Idol. I think her rap style really brought it together, but I don't think that the rest of the album was good. And along with that, Love Yourself Persona was not for me. I can't say I hate the album, but it is so close to an actual hatred of that album because I've been attacked so many times for saying I don't like it. I did not like Boy With Love. I have thumbs downed it. It is the only BTS video I've ever thumbs downed on YouTube. I hate that song. I hated Halsey in it. Her voice was annoying and nasally, and she sang one sentence just on repeat, and her dancing with them was awkward because she's not a dancer and she didn't know what she was doing, and I don't know why they brought her in there. There was literally no point to having Halsey in there. They have 4 vocalists who can sing in her range, and they could have done it instead, and it would have given Jin the lines. Give Jin the lines. We all know he has an issue with not having lines. Like, they could have given it to him. But I also don't like Halsey, but I think the song was bad. It was a recycled concept that we're all getting tired of, recycled choreography, and it wasn't anything that was particularly interesting or new or different or out there. The only song I almost liked was Dionysus because it was darker, it had fun choreography that wasn't just random body rolls while tapping your legs, and it had Jin doing low notes, and it had Jin just in general. And the only thing I didn't like about the stages was Namjoon and his stupid staff. Like, what? Like, bringing back, like, We Are Bulletproof, and oh, it wasn't No More Dream. It was We Are Bulletproof with the staff with the money sign on it, and I hated it, and I hate that they brought that back. But I think that they need to change their concept, not entirely, not forever, but bring back at least an album that has more of their older feel, the more hip-hop style, because they are becoming very Western, and that's not something that a lot of people want to listen to, because that's what's mainstream in America. Speaking of America, on to my next K-pop opinion. I don't really know what number we're on. In my opinion, making it big in America does not matter. I keep seeing comments, not even just with BTS, but with groups that, like Blackpink, or with, like NCT, that have gotten very popular in America. People are trying to use that as elevation for their group, and I get that. We're a very big country, and we represent a lot of people, but making it big in one country is not a measure of a group's worth, and I am very sad that that's something that we as Americans feel that needs to happen, that for a group to be good, they need to be popular here. I know that throughout America, Twice is not the most popular girl group, and it's nowhere close to the most popular girl group. The most popular girl groups here are Blackpink and Red Velvet, and yet they're still the nation's girl group. They're still at the top of their game, and they are killing it over in Korea and in Japan. Actually, I don't even know if they're killing it in Japan. They're killing it in Korea at least, but they're not being recognized in America for some reason, because I don't think their music is a lot of people's taste, but because they're not making it in America, then in a lot of people's eyes, they're not a good girl group, even though they're like the girl group of Korea in, Korean culture. They're the nation's girl group. But because they're not big in America, to most Americans' eyes, they're not good. And I think that it's really annoying that American K-pop stans have taken it upon themselves to validate everything in their eyes by using our nationality as a thing like that. And that's me. I hate that, and when people do that. The last one for this video, I might make a second one, is that you cannot call idols out on cultural appropriation if it is not your culture that is being appropriated. What a shocker! It's almost as though you don't know what you're talking about. I see this all the time, and I'm very sorry, but it's like almost always white people that do this. Actually, I'm not sorry, because it's almost always white people who do everything, and I'm saying that as a white person who's very pissed off at my own race. But I will see white people who will call, what was it? I don't know, there's just little things, like idols can't wear bandanas without a white person being like, that's cultural appropriation against black people. Like, are you black? Were you raised black? No! So you can't sit here and complain to me that an idol getting cornrows is cultural appropriation when it's not like you've ever had cornrows in your goddamn life. I haven't either. I don't complain about idols getting cornrows unless I think it looks ugly. Because let's be real, some people just look gross in cornrows. But I remember when Chan from Stray Kids got cornrows and all these people started canceling him. And it's like, on top of that, nobody canceled Kai from EXO when he got dreads. Like, or when, in 2015, when Suga from BTS got the braids, nobody canceled them, but for some reason they canceled Chan, and that really bothers me. And I will admit that Chan needs to educate himself on black culture because he seems to not want to educate himself, and that really hurts as like a hard, like as a stay, as Stray Kids being my ultimate group. I feel like he needs to better represent his group and educate himself, but you cannot call people out on cultural appropriate. Blackpink, I don't stand them, but people were so mad at Jennie and Lisa for doing like the little Indian dance or whatever, and they started canceling the group. It's like, if you're not Indian, if you are just some mildly offended white 12-year-old sitting in your bedroom watching videos on YouTube, you cannot tell me that you are offended by cultural appropriation if it's not your culture being appropriated. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. And I will tell you this, is that people are getting offended, white people specifically, white K-pop stans are getting so offended at the stupidest things, and it bothers me so much because it's not like you have anything to say about it. That idol, whether they wanted the cornrows or dreads or bandana or whatever, whether they wanted that or not, that was a styling choice their company went with. So instead of canceling groups, why don't you just stop doing that and just get mad at a company? Why don't you stop canceling individual members and going on like the OT8s for like Stray Kids again, when Chan, I don't even know what Chan did, but they were like OT8 and 2 Racha because Chan's a clown, and I'm like, why don't, instead of you clowning him for something that his stylist wanted him to do, you just be mad at the stylist instead of completely boycotting an entire group or trying to get him kicked out of the group that he leads. So yeah, if it's not your culture, it's not cultural appropriation if it's not offending you. If a black person gets mad because an idol has cornrows, that they have a valid reason, because that's their culture. So, yeah. There's a whole other issue with white people and cultural appropriation that I'm not going to get into now because I'm tired and I am leaving home. But yeah, that's just, yes, a little bit. So I think that's about it. Thank you for watching my like 20-minute video. I did not mean for it to be this long, but so be it, it is that long. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will probably be making a number 2 whether you guys want it or not, which is not generally what YouTubers say, but that's what I'm saying. I want to make a second one because I have more opinions, and if you guys have like any unpopular K-pop opinions, link them down below, and I will probably react to them because I have nothing else to do. And yeah, so if you do enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm bored and upload a video. I hope you guys had a lovely day, and I will see you guys all later. Okay, bye guys!